So, what we've talked about in a lot of the podcasts are a distilled layperson's version of the research that we've done over the last several years. But along the way, I've captured an assortment of crazy stories and unique, sort of behind the scenes view of what it's like to do this research. Because, I mean, you have stories in the lab, but those aren't that exciting because it's a fairly predictable environment. But out in the field, you're working with new graduate students, you're working with the management team, you're working with crews that you've never worked with for the first time, and just the human interaction along the way of capturing all this data. Some of those stories are really hilarious, and some of them are just very unusual. And they usually don't get intertwined within the research that an individual does. So I wanted to share some of those anecdotes or that have happened when you go out in this unpredictable environment, work with this unpredictable type of research subject population, and how those things come together. Because you've got stories of the actual data collection, and then you've got these behind the scenes stories that happen. Having those stories alongside of the research paper or the podcast that talks about the research paper, I think will help the viewer or the teams that are listening to these to realize that it's the human interaction that makes the research happen.